My favorite thing is solo variant for board games. I'm talking about recent releases from 2019 and 2020, and they are creative and thoughtful solo variants for games that are really fun with 2 to 4, 5, or 6 players. I've got 4 of those games I want to share with you. One is not even fully released yet. You can only play it on Tabletop Simulator. So hang in there and check out these awesome solo variant games. I want to go from easiest to hardest. So the first game I want to mention is Canvas. Canvas is a card drafting and building game where you have sleeves and you are building these beautiful masterpieces with all these different components. And you have to put 3 transparencies into a sleeve, and then you essentially are done with that particular masterpiece. It's a quick game, it is an easy game to learn, and it's also a really beautiful game. It also has this amazing variant for solo play, and recently the designers of Canvas asked all of the Kickstarter backers for their advice or their suggestions on 2 different solo plays. So I learned the game, played the game, looked at both of those solo plays, and gave my feedback. And I thought that was a really great way to interact with the customers and interact with gamers who are actually going to be playing these solo variants. They were both really interesting, had totally different paths to experience the game. They also announced that they are going to include both solo variants in the rulebook when the game is released. So thumbs up to Kickstarter and Canvas. Moving up just a little bit with difficulty is a game called Parks. Parks is another Kickstarter game that I got, but it has a solo variant that is really fascinating. I have played Parks several times with my friends, and I think the game is beautiful, and I love the mechanism of having one trail and everyone is kind of blocking those places that you want to go to, and people are finishing the trail with one of their hikers while leaving maybe one of their other hikers behind so that they can snatch up all the stuff that's further down the trail, and they can go and visit a park before you get there. It's so fun. The solo variant just really amps it up. There are events and there are rangers, and the way the game works is the same experience as Parks, but it's just so clever. Love the idea of the solo variant for Parks. Knocking up the difficulty just a little bit more, Isle of Cats has a solo variant, and if you've seen the rulebook for Isle of Cats, it's kind of meaty, it's kind of hearty. The solo variant takes up a significant part of the rulebook. The solo variant in Isle of Cats is well thought out because there are cards specifically designed for just the solo play. Isle of Cats can get maybe lengthy when you go up to the max 5 players, so if you really enjoy the game, and I think the components are quite lovely, and you want a challenge, like a puzzle challenge, do the Isle of Cats solo variant. Play by yourself. Really dig into the game and have a great time. Lastly, I want to talk about Maracaibo. Maracaibo is the hardest, juiciest, meatiest game that I'm mentioning for the solo variant, and I don't want to leave out any of my heavy gamers, and so that's why it's on my list. Maracaibo is just a great game. Because the game is so good, play the solo variant. I have read the rules and played through a round of that, and I think it's just wonderful. It's a way to learn the game as well, so if you are learning the game and teaching it to other people, play the solo variant because the base game is essentially that with some adjustments that are very smart and just very effective and efficient. So Maracaibo for heavier gameplay, for more components and a lot more challenging or complex rulebook, go for Maracaibo solo variant. I've written an article about Maracaibo at the Daily Worker Placement, so if you want to check out my in-depth review, please go there. Thanks for checking out my favorite thing. It's always something that just catches me off guard, and I'm so excited to share with you. Keep your eye out for all those solo variants in the rule books of your favorite board games. They're not just tacked on, and they're not just there because they want to say 1 to 5 or 1 to 4 players. The games that are coming out with solo variants these days, this last year or two, are so good, and I don't want you to miss that opportunity to play a great game by yourself.